Hi, my name is Eric. Welcome to my tip presentation. For this project, I chose to interview 3 special education teachers about their experiences in the field. What I really wanted to get out of this was a good view of and some advice in dealing with coworkers and parents, resources that are provided and ones you have to provide yourself, managing time as far as lesson planning and inside and outside of the school, how the teachers ensured that their students' needs were being met, and just some general advice for my first year as a teacher. The 3 teachers I chose were all at different stages of their career. The first teacher I interviewed was Carol Kramer. She is near retirement, 30 years working for the schools with special education students. And she's worked with a variety of grade levels and a variety of students with a variety of needs. The second teacher I interviewed was Dana Tremmel. Dana's been working as a special education teacher for 11 years. She too has had a number of experiences with different age groups and labels over the years. She's currently working in a DCD program with transition age students as well. The third teacher I interviewed was Joe Ramsey. And Joe has been working as a special education teacher for 6 years in a high school EBD setting. So I thought that range was good. 6 years, fairly new, 11 years seasoned, and 30 years well done would give me a broad view of the topics I was interested in learning more about or gaining perspective on. So to jump right into it, on advice for dealing with parents and staff, Carol, the first one I interviewed, who had 30 years, said she really stressed the importance of listening to the parent or staff person and trying to see what was driving that behavior or problem, what the main underlying problem was, and just dealing. Then you're able to deal with that. With staff specifically, I thought this was really important. She stressed not assigning a task to a staff member that was something you yourself were not willing to do. And I thought that was really great because over my years of experience in education, I've worked with teachers that have been willing to do the things that they assigned us to do and ones that have not been willing. And I've always preferred working with the ones that were willing. I mean, it's a team. We're all in this together type deal. And that's kind of what Carol was getting at. She said, as the teacher, you are the leader and you have to delegate responsibility, but, showing them that you're willing to do anything you're delegating is a great way to gain respect. Another thing that Carol said that I thought was really important was the need to avoid gossip, because it gets out of control and oftentimes isn't even true, and just fosters a general negative attitude, which is not conducive to a learning environment. So Dana, agreed with most of the same things. That was the second teacher I interviewed, and she just said that she tries to stay positive, both with dealing with parents and dealing with staff, just staying positive, remaining calm, and listening again. Listening was key. Joe just simply said he tries to take nothing personal at work. So, if somebody's angry or whatever, he says that that's their problem and doesn't affect him. He listens. He tries to avoid conflict with his staff by keeping the communication open and having weekly meetings. He said that's key. And he just leaves those weekly meetings. He has somewhat of an agenda, but allows the staff to address any concerns that they have so they can get that stuff out on the floor. And then he eats lunch with them every day, which I thought was a really great way to build a strong relationship with your coworkers. Just sitting down and eating lunch with them. So for the resources, all three of the teachers had pretty good experiences with this. They had most of their resources were provided by the district. None of them spent too much money outside of what was provided in the school for their classrooms, like under $100 a year was the average that all three spent on resources not provided by the district. Which surprised me. I thought it would have been a lot more. Now, Carol did say that while I'm working with the transition age students that there isn't a lot of curriculum out there, so the money spent is a little bit more, and using a lot more creativity because it's a lot of teacher-created curriculum. But monetarily, she said it wasn't significantly more. It was just the fact that time-wise, you were spending more time with that. And time out preparing lessons outside of the normal day, it was like 2 hours a month for Carol, 2 hours a week for Dana, which I thought again would have been a lot more, but apparently they said they were provided, all three of them said they were provided enough time during the school day for preparing lessons and doing most of their paperwork. Occasionally they did stuff outside of school. Meeting the students' needs. Reading the IEPs, of course, is huge, and the evals, huge. Carol said, which I think is cool because this is kind of what I do, I think it's important to build a rapport with the individuals so that they will be comfortable disclosing their needs to you, is what Carol said, and I've always believed that, and I thought that was great to hear coming from a veteran teacher. It just kind of solidified that point for me. Joe said, constant contact with parents, general education teachers, and outside resources was crucial. The advice for the first year teacher, Dana and Carol both suggested finding a mentor. They said they didn't know if they would have made it through that first year without a mentor. And most districts do provide mentors, which I didn't know. I don't. She said if you ask for one, they'll give you one, and sometimes the school district will just assign you one. They make that a policy to just assign the new teacher a mentor, and they help you with paperwork, meeting deadlines, setting meeting dates, all that stuff that can become so overwhelming to us as new teachers, which I found very comforting to know that I had the option of having somebody kind of guide me through that first year. So that was cool. And Joe said simply, it gets easier, which was also comforting because I know thinking about this first year of teaching and fresh out of school, even with my experience, is a little produces a little anxiety, and just knowing that it will get easier, and hearing that from somebody that's been through it was really comforting. So my recommendations are just listen to your staff, to your parents, to your students, get to know them, build good relationships with them, take advantage of the resources provided by the districts, mainly get a mentor, and attend training is another big one. And I think keeping in mind what Joe said, that it will get easier. And that is all I have today. Thank you for listening. And that's all.